You're listening to Birds Coast to Coast. Here's your host, John Clark and Tanner Riddle.
Welcome, everyone, to Birds Coast to Coast. I'm your host, John, along with my amazing co-host, Tanner Riddle. We don't have a third person today, so you are more than likely going to click off at this point. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I feel like every time it's just two of us, it's like, who cares? It's those two clowns. But Tanner, we're almost to training camp. I feel like the long sludge of summer has almost ended. We already have our first big camp injury. I don't know if you saw that, but the Panthers edge rusher Nick Scourton tore his ACL. So, camp doesn't start until someone goes down.
Well, the Cardinals did release a PUP list, the
Yeah.
pup list.
Yeah.
There were like 3 guys on there I was not expecting.
Oh, who were they?
Yeah. Well, for the Cardinals, it was Josh Sweat. It was Paris Johnson.
Oh, no.
And I'm drawing a blank. Who was like that third one? Yeah, but I was just
Those
like...
are 2 big names.
Well, yeah, and actually, it's just as surprising it was the name that wasn't on there, and that was Walter Nolan. That's actually pretty exciting. Yeah, because he tore his... Yeah, he had some kind of like ACL, Achilles, something. I always forget. He had an injury like week 14, week 15 in the year. Mm-hmm. And you know how it is for those big guys. Those injuries, they usually take a while to get back, and he wasn't on the pup list. So that was exciting.
Yeah, so we're counting down the hours until everyone's started training camp. The Eagles start sometime next week. We're going to talk about a little bit of this and that. We're going to go over a little bit of quarterback lists, things that we noticed from the executive list, things that we have issue with. Just kind of bounce around what we've noticed from Cardinals, the Eagles, maybe a little bit of the NFL. But starting off, man, I'm just really interested to see what the Eagles bring to camp this year. Apparently Mekhi Lemon's nice and healthy. I was kind of worried that he would be one of those players who might start on the pup list just because he had that hamstring injury, but looking pretty good.
Wait, hamstring from college?
No, they just said he had he was limited. I think he tweaked something in OTAs, and he wasn't able to fully participate throughout the initial offseason phase. But no, he says he's good to go, so that's exciting. Don't want to have you never like it when a rookie's missing training camp. It really slows down the progression and kind of ramp up to the NFL speed. I remember when Cooper DeJean missed his training camp, and it just took him like 3 or 4 weeks to really like get back to the swing of things, because Vic Fangio didn't really like give him any training wheels. He just kind of was like, no, you have to figure this out. So like it's really big when a rookie misses camp. So we're really, really glad that we didn't have any rookies so far initially miss the first camp couple days. Let's see. Nick Sirianni talked about.
You're a little thin at wide receiver, unlike last year. So
well, the thing is about being thin. We're not that. See, okay. You could argue that we're actually more deep at wide receiver than we were last year, just because like it was truly like a cliff drop off when you went from like AJ to Devontae and then that's it. I know technically we had Jahan Dotson, but let's be real. Jahan Dotson's like league average replacement at this point, and he's nothing really special. But now I feel like we've kind of got like a bevy of like, kind of like how the Packers have kind of rolled out their receivers over the years, like just a bunch of B guys. That's kind of what the Eagles roster kind of looks like at the wide receiver position. It's like you got Smith, you got Mekhi Lemon, you got Dontavian Wicks, you got Hollywood Brown, you got Elijah Moore. Like a lot of these like, veteran replacement level players. Whereas before, like after Jahan Dotson last year, it went straight down to undrafted rookie camp star Darius Cooper. So it's like it got thin quick at wide receiver last year. Whereas like we're looking at Darius Cooper being the 4 last year. Now we're looking at like Hollywood Brown or Dontavian Wicks being the 4, which, I mean, that's an undrafted free agent versus 1,000-yard receiving experience with multiple years in the league. So I would argue to say we're pretty deep at receiver, maybe not top heavy, but like we're deeper than we were. I wouldn't be super concerned if one of our dudes went down. I feel like we'd be able to kind of, unless it was like a long-term injury, obviously, but I think we could stay the course. You're wrong.
Well, I'm seeing proposed trades for Michael Wilson. So apparently you can get him for a 4th, according to a lot of people, which is crazy.
I mean, no, you really shouldn't be trading a guy like that because like
Oh
his
no, I'm
value will
not.
skyrocket.
Unless he's asking for like 25 million a year, which I like him, I really do, but I think it's a little much for me. Um, what would I ever? I don't think I could ever expect a fourth round pick to be as productive as I think he could be.
No,
So
yeah,
it's just
but
funny to see like from the outside, someone was like, "Oh, the Chiefs should trade for him and give up a fourth." I'm just like, I see why the Chiefs would want to do it. But
why
like,
not?
why would
Yeah,
it takes two? Like, why would the Cardinals do that?
he just can't pillage a bottom feeder team of all their good players just because it's like, yeah, we'll flip you a fourth, take it, dummy. It's like, what? That's not how that works. Howie's over here like, yeah, I'll give you a first. I'll take a first for this declining AJ Brown. A first, and that's it. Nothing worse. But no, it was interesting. The guy who really stood out to Nick Sirianni early on, apparently there was a report. Well, it wasn't a report. It was him talking on the podium. He compared Dontavian Wicks to young Keenan Allen, which I thought
All
is
right.
very. Oh, hey, you know what? It's that type. It's that time of year. It's that time of year. It's the year where like I see a lot of this guy. He's looking great, best shape of my lifetime. You know what I mean? I saw Debo Samuel post, "I'm in the best shape of my life." Sure, you are, buddy. Uh, it's always those types. It's that time of year, and
It's always funny to hear that because it's like, so were you just slacking before, or like,
mhm.
why are you now? Like, is modern medicine really like come up to speed that much?
Oh, bet when you hear an athlete say it's the best, I'm in the best shape of my life, you may as well
That
just
means
dig a
you're in
grave.
contract here.
Or
You
no,
need a
or
contract.
you just dig a grave for them. Like that's like that's the end of their career. I don't think I've ever seen a player say I'm in the best shape of my life and then ball out that season. It and
See, I told you.
yeah, and like I would say 7 out of 10 times when you hear that, it's from it's from a free agent who's like,
Yeah.
trying to like, catch on to someone. It's not like some like, like Jahmyr Gibbs isn't saying that. Bijan Robinson
But
isn't.
they likely are, like they
Yeah,
likely are in the best shape of their life.
yeah, yeah. No, I've never heard a player who's actually in their prime say that ever. It's so funny.
Whoever the first player to say, you know what, I'm probably in like the third best year, in the third best shape of my life. That's gonna be like the official like player of the pod. Like that'll be our guy
Yeah, yeah.
because we appreciate honesty.
I was very surprised to see Nick Sirianni's length of his quote on Dontavian Wicks, though. Like, especially compared to like, because you saw the length of the quote for Wicks, and it was a good little paragraph. And then they talked about Mekhi Lemon, and then he was like, "Yeah, we brought him in. He's a first round pick for a reason. We're gonna bring him in. We loved his ability to make tough catches and get tough yards." And that was it. Like that. I'm like, you just went on for about 2 minutes about Dontavian Wicks. And we spent the first round on Mekhi Lemon, and you spent like 5 times the amount of time on Wicks than Lemon. But okay, I don't know. You might want to buy that Wicks stock in Dynasty.
I mean, I get it. Like you spent a first round pick on one guy, and then you tossed a late day 3 pick
Mm-hmm.
on the other. But it is interesting. You went ahead and you extended him for an extra year. And
Good
he
deal.
is coming from Sean Mannion in Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
So, I like the transaction. I think that's as solid of a move as the Eagles could have made, especially when they made it. Remember, you still had AJ Brown, right? But looking back at it, it was a clear sign of what was
Yeah, that
about
was
to come.
about that was
But
kind of
like,
when like the AJ Brown was kind of like he's about to be traded news came out.
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I get why you want to pump him up a little bit. Mekhi Lemon, obviously, they endorsed him with a first round pick, so there's only so much you need to do to pump him up.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe pump up the other guy a little bit. Makes
I
sense.
guess so. You know, I'm really looking forward to preseason, and I really enjoy it. I'm a I'm a sick freak when it comes to preseason. I guess I'll kind of get on my soapbox about this because I guess we haven't really talked about preseason yet because we've been talking about off season. But I'll be real, I will sit and watch an entire preseason game because it's so nice, and I'll tell you why. Because you get the feeling of watching your favorite team without the heartache of loss, because remember the losses don't matter, and if you win you still feel good. It's not, again, it's like oh, you feel good if they win, it doesn't matter if they lose. And you can really start to see those like position battles, guys who like look good, like better than you think, some camp standouts translating to the field, guys who aren't talking about in camps like translating to the field, late round draft picks that you saw, or like really cool like stories like Uar Bernard getting some snaps in the third and fourth quarter. Like, a lot of people have a really like negative opinion on preseason games, and over time we've kind of dwindled them down and reduced their importance. And now there's only 3 games instead of 4, and a lot of teams don't even play their starters anymore. But I'm okay with that. Like, honestly, you don't have to play the starters. Like, I am here to see the depth. I'm here to see where these positional strengths are, where the positional weaknesses are. And yeah, I'm a little bit of a freak when it comes to that. I do like it. Where are you on preseason? What's your kind of, what do you think about it? I've never really gotten your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, first off, like you said, it's low stakes. Like, it's fun if you win. It's fun to see the guys who do finish the game, excited and feel proud of like,
Yeah.
hey, they won because they did win the game, right? Even though if it's not the starters that you expect to see week 1, it depends on where you are in the rebuild. For the Eagles, I don't really know exactly where Nick Sirianni lands when it comes to playing starters. If he sometimes just completely punt on the preseason where no starters touch the field.
Yeah.
Some teams like the Rams don't touch the field at all. But then you have the Chiefs.
He's in the Rams camp, and a lot of people don't like it. He doesn't.
And you have the Chiefs, who I actually a couple years ago when the Chiefs came to Arizona for week 3 of the preseason, traditionally that's like the preseason game that you play the most. For like I got free tickets to that game. I got to see a first half of the Chiefs' first string offense. Pretty cool, right? Like for free. And so it just, one, it's fascinating that Rams and Chiefs, 2 of the pillars of the league, completely different approaches. So hard to really tell, oh yeah, this is the way to do it, or this is the way to do it. But as a fan though, I like it. It's pretty casual. You get to learn a little bit of the depth. Every now and then there's a guy who stands out in the preseason that actually has like a substantial role in the regular season. I think John Brown was one of those guys when he was a rookie. He was a 3rd round pick for us out of Pittsburgh State.
Mm-hmm.
And, he ends up playing a pretty solid role. I think Tyrann Mathieu, he had a similar role like that where he made a couple plays in the preseason, got you excited. But uniquely this year, when you have a rookie quarterback, it's like, let him loose. Like, what do we have to lose here? Like, let him play. I want him to play at least a half of every game. Like, why would you not? You have a veteran quarterback in Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew. I mean, you do have to finish the game, so it won't just be those 3 guys. You'll probably have a 4th guy on, finishing out some games.
Yeah, some late round rookie. Something.
But, Carson Beck earlier this week finally signed his rookie contract. 4 years, $7.4 million. In our language,
total or a
money.
year?
7.6 overall.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, I was talking to our buddy Mike from last week, and I was like, dude, again, I know it's a, long shot. He's a 3rd round pick, right? Can you imagine though, if he actually like becomes the answer? That's $1.8 million a year. Like, that is such a bar. And that was the first pick of the 3rd round.
You can start spending that money on so many things.
Right. Like, yeah, I mean, it would be awesome if he could be our Tyler Shuck. And I understand, like, odds are not in our favor, but it just reminded me how cheap, these draft picks can be past the 1st round. Like, yeah. Fernando Mendoza, he almost called him Trevor again. He signed for like 4 years, 56, 58, something like that. Like so much more money. Again, he was the very first pick of the draft. I get that. But it was just so much more.
Yeah, no, I really think that's an opportunity. I mean, that's why you got to see what the kid can do. I mean, like you got to see. I mean, the opportunity cost there is just way too much to forfeit if it's there. I mean, you can be spending that money on edge rusher, on corner, on offensive line. Like you can spend that money so many places and get so much good bang for your buck if you don't have to spend money on the quarterback. That's how you win
in
the
the
league.
perfect world, you can sign Michael Wilson, you can sign assuming these guys like show promise, you can sign Walter Nolan and
Go out and get a free agent.
go get a free agent.
Trade for a guy, pay him some money. Yeah,
I
mean,
mean,
you do a lot.
I mean, again, I don't. The Eagles made a good decision in paying Jalen Hurts, right? But it will cost you someone somewhere, whether it's AJ Brown. Yes, you got to pick back,
Yeah.
but like AJ Brown, or when you're having to make decisions on like Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter and like Jordan Davis and all, Devontae Smith, and are you going to bring back Dallas Goedert? No, I just named everyone that's still on the team, but there's some guys who haven't gotten paid yet that could be Jalen Hurts casualties, right? And that's just the unfortunate reality, But it's just an opportunity. None of this will matter if he's really bad, but it's just an opportunity.
Yeah. So I was perusing the league, and this is list season. The NFL top 100. Which, by the way, like, can we like do like a quick little aside here? I hate how they announce these top 100 like announcements. Like they are so like it doesn't matter. Like it's like an info dump on a weekday at noon on Twitter. It's like, what are you doing? Like I remember this used to be like a show. It used to be like on a TV show. Like last
You're talking
year
about the player list, right?
Yeah, the player list. Like it used to be like it literally came out. I believe this like last year because I remember Saquon got like really high. I don't know if it was 1 or 2. But like the episode, I was watching it live and they would literally do, all right, here's 3, here's 2. And then they would tweet as the episode aired. But this year, they're just like dumping it out on Twitter. Do you think it might have something to do with the NFL and ESPN merger? Like, do you think they gutted like some production something and try to save money and just said, we can just release this on Twitter and not have to like broadcast it on NFL Network? Like, I don't like this. Like, I would rather it be like shown on TV. I mean, or get some,
especially
or dump it at prime time or something. I don't know.
They make a big deal of like the schedule release. Like why would they not make a big deal of this? I mean, we're in the dog days of summer. I like baseball, but that's kind of all that we have carrying us right now. And the World Cup was fun. That only comes around every 4 years though. So we need stuff to kind of keep us busy to get through till early August when we actually get some preseason games to talk about. So yeah, I remember it feeling like there was like some kind of like NFL top 100 release show every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, whatever. Mm-hmm. And they just one by one, they have just a cast, and of course they're going to talk good about these players because they're all good. I mean, they were all voted top 100 players, and so sometimes it's not even about where they're ranked. It's just an opportunity to like pump them up, but give us a little something.
So, what I want to talk about was Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts actually finished in the top 100 after a lot of people thought that he would fall out of the top 100. A lot of people in Philly kind of saw the list get down to like the 60s and 50s and thought, he probably didn't make it. Like AJ Brown was 70. Devontae's probably not even on the list. Like chances are he's probably not even here. But, here comes like Jalen Hurts clocking in the mid 50s. And it was really surprising because that listed him about, and it depends on how many quarterbacks are listed in front, but theoretically he should fall somewhere between 11th and 12th if like quarterbacks that don't make it just stay off the list basically. Now I say that because I kind of think that's fair. Like I really do think like fringe top 10 is where he's at right now. But the NFL executives also did a release list over the past few weeks. And this was a list voted on by scouts, GMs, executives, and coaches. And they did a top 10/20 list. They did a bunch of votes on different positional groups. Jalen Hurts finished 17th in that list. Bottom half of the league. If you think about that, bottom half. And if you really want to give him a below average quarterback, if you really want to get on the nitty gritty on this, right? A below average quarterback, 17th, yet the players have him around 11th, So
that's still pretty low.
My question is, first, I don't understand the divide. Like, why do the players see Hurts higher than the executives? I have a theory. I want to hear what you think, and then I'll tell you my theory.
I think why execs would be lower is because they may actually respect physical traits more than players might. And that may be a bit of a shocker, like a minority opinion. But think about what execs do. Like, what is their main goal? Their main thing is player acquisition, and they spend how much time, in the draft process, and how much time do we nitpick players' height, weight, speed, strength, 40 times arm strength, all that stuff. So Jalen Hurts just isn't going to, unless we're doing like a squat competition, he's not necessarily going to impress you in that sense, right? It's not the tallest guy. He's not small. I mean, clearly he's not he's a thick dude, but he's not 6'4", 250 like a Cam Newton type, a Josh Allen type. He doesn't have a rocket arm like a Patrick Mahomes where you clock him fast. Clock him at 70 miles an hour throwing a football. He's not super fast, so he's not going to look like Lamar out there. But yes, but no one tests for squat, which is where he would obviously shine. He's also been surrounded by a really good roster these last couple of years. And if anyone's going to appreciate that, it might be a front office. So to answer your question, what's the potential theory on why an exec might be lower on him? It's because an exec might actually appreciate all the things Jalen Hurts isn't. Whereas a player, I don't know, maybe they're just hey, I've seen him in 2 Super Bowls and he was the best player in both. I can't stop him on a tush push. He gets the job done. I don't know. That's a potential theory. What's your theory?
I think a player would see this guy winning and beating their team over and over and over and over and over again, and this guy just beating everyone else's team. It's just really hard for them to say he's bad. like they might not say he's again. I'm saying he fell in 11th. It's not like they're rating him top 5 or anything. And I do think these player lists are very of the year, like of that season. And I mean, I'll be real, Jalen Hurts did not play that great last year. You know what I mean? He wasn't amazing. I think it was one of his kind of poorer years in terms of his ability. So, I mean, I know he set his career high in touchdown passes, but I mean, there were other deficiencies that he really showed last year that were really frustrating, namely his inability to push the ball downfield in terms of taking risks and trying to fit it into windows when things weren't absolutely there. You could say that was coaching with Nick Sirianni, saying he didn't want to force it to kind of keep that turnover differential down. But regardless, that wasn't the best year. And a lot of Jalen Hurts' passing touchdowns, I'm going to be honest, were kind of I don't know, cheap. I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of them, I would say at least 4 of them were they run up to the line in tight trips, almost in a tush push, and he just kind of egg tosses it to Dallas Goedert 5 feet to the right, and then Dallas Goedert just runs in. That counts as a touchdown pass. So and we did that
jet passes.
Yeah, it was weird how we just kind of manufactured some touchdown passes for him. But so I don't know if he truly threw 25 touchdowns or whatever it was, but Yeah, so I do think my reason is for. Oh, go ahead. You were saying something.
I was going to say one last part is again, I think execs like to be able to put like a quantitative measure on everything, and other than like fourth down conversions and tush pushes and rushing touchdowns, does he really have that? Like he throws for 5,000 yards, he throws 30 touchdown passes, so you see the winning. But from an executive standpoint, I think you want to say, oh, they won, and here are the 35 touchdown passes that he threw. Like you can clearly correlate the success directly to him. And so
yeah,
maybe that's my theory.
I think in a broader sense, my theory was similar to yours. It basically aligned with the idea of like wanting to believe your pre-draft assessment and it be accurate. Yeah. Like, let's take Justin Herbert, for example, guy who hasn't won a single playoff game, but looks great. You know what I mean? Look, has everything you want in a quarterback, good mobility, tall, strong arm, fits the ball into a mailbox, but then again, all of a sudden you got guys that get to the playoffs and then just choke or can't win the big game or somehow falls apart in the big moments. That's where Jalen Hurts succeeds. And you got these draft experts who, mainly took these polls for the executives and the scouts, and they saw a second round quarterback. And if it feels as though he's like damned to be a second round quarterback, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Draft pedigree is a thing.
It matters.
It matters.
How many chances did Sam Bradford get? How many chances did all those first round quarterbacks get? How many chances has Justin Fields gotten? You know what I mean? Like
if Justin Fields was a 4th round pick, he never would have got a second opportunity.
He'd be Josh Johnson.
Exactly. If he's lucky.
Yeah. So that I really do think that sticks with you. And you know what? It makes me feel bad because like I know like a lot of times like these players, they go on these slides on draft night and you're like, oh, you're going to get paid. You're going to the NFL. Stop complaining. But then you got this type of situation where like this follows you long into your career than it should. And yeah, like it does affect people. Like people are still have their preconceived notions of who Jalen Hurts is as a quarterback, and they just want to be right. And they saw a guy who finished second in MVP, all pro, been to 2 Super Bowls, pretty much should have won the MVP in both of them if he had just won the first one.
He was the best player.
Yeah. And we're looking at a guy who they voted as 17th. Now, this is my issue with this list, okay? Would you say that Patrick Mahomes had a good year last year?
No, not necessarily.
Even when he was healthy?
I think he actually had a losing record as a starter.
Okay.
But that's team success, but...
So...
He's such an interesting dude to me because his best year was his first year. He's taken such a significant drop-off statistically from his first year as a starter to now.
Do you know that since 2003, this doesn't even count the 2002 season, by the way. 2002 was the Hurts good year. 2003, since 2003, Jalen
23.
2023, yeah. 2023, yeah. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes nearly have identical stats passing.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Mahomes got so much credit.
And we're not talking about rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, we're talking like he threw for 50 touchdowns in his first year as a starter. It was year 2 in the league because he sat. But still, like his first year as the full-time starter, He threw 50 touchdown passes, was named the MVP. He's never sniffed that ever again. Like, not even close.
Why? I guess my point is this. Patrick Mahomes...
You take that year out, he's Jalen Hurts, is what you're saying.
Well, Patrick Mahomes is second on the list. Second. He had a bad year last year. But why is it that Jalen Hurts' year penalized him so much? He came off a Super Bowl. I guarantee you he was like 7th or 8th on the list. But now he's 17th. Okay? Last year he was probably like 6 to 8, something like that in the executive list. Had a bad year, and now he's 17th. Patrick Mahomes arguably had a way worse year. Hasn't won a Super Bowl in the past 2 years.
Ooh.
Second. Actually, he has won. No, he hasn't. But yeah,
2-year drought.
2-year drought. Is it just because?
You're rough, man.
So why is it that we can use he's been good for longer career for Patrick Mahomes, but we can't use it for Jalen Hurts? Because Jalen Hurts has had a great 2022. He went to the Super Bowl. He had a good.
I think you're kind of close, but like you almost got to like reverse the thought, and that is, you said, why is Jalen Hurts getting so punished for last year? Are you sure we're not actually doing the opposite? And we're not saying, why is Patrick Mahomes getting so rewarded for his one statistical boom season?
Oh, I see.
He had it so early on that he never had to justify that season again. That because in the scouting world, there's a saying, if you can do it once, that means you can do it. And so, you're going to do it all the time? No, but you're capable of it. And that's where potential comes in, right? Whereas you ever see guys who are getting scouted and they're like, he only played in the slot, Justin Jefferson. And so it's like, I never saw him play out wide, but it's not like he couldn't do it, but he didn't. And so do you just assume he can't if he didn't? So I don't know. Like, obviously you're going to miss on Justin Jefferson with that logic, but are we doing that with Jalen Hurts where, again, a touchdown is valuable, right? Does it really matter if it came through on a 1-yard tush push or if it came on like a 15-yard like out route, passing touchdown? We probably appreciate the passing touchdown more, but because he hasn't had that like huge statistical season, there's that bit of, is it really is the offense and the team success flowing through him necessarily? And yes, they went to the Super Bowl without Saquon in 2022.
Yeah.
But there was still a lot of other good players. Most of the time with the Chiefs, like 2 of the 3 Super Bowls that they won were without Tyreek Hill. Yes, they have Travis Kelce, but no one's necessarily like is there any debate who the engine of the Chiefs has been? It's been Patrick Mahomes. Now is that oh no, I meant like yeah, Kelce is a top 5, top 3 tight end of all time, but
Andy Reid, I don't know. Why are we making these conversations like he doesn't have Hall of Fame talent around him? He has. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce.
It feels like there's just like 1 or 2 guys at best. Tyreek Hill is an all-time great football player. Not a human, but football player. Travis Kelce, all-time great football player, right? Most of the time has been without Tyreek, right? But since they lost Tyreek Hill on offense, what have they really had?
Andy Reid.
Okay, so I'll give you that. He's obviously been there the whole time.
I mean, don't we count
they had
Sean McVay? Like, don't we feel like that's a plus? Like, why do we? What? I mean, that's
Sean McVay.
Yeah, like when we have.
Well, we're not talking. You're right. I'm not trying to devalue coaches. If anything, I really want to promote coaches. But like, we're comparing Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I'm just saying I don't see Nick Sirianni being anywhere near the Andy Reid tree in terms of like offensive.
No, not at all. But like.
I feel like what Jalen Hurts has to do is a lot harder than what Patrick Mahomes is having to do. What
position group on offense, outside of quarterback, are the Chiefs better than the Eagles over Hurts' tenure? Tight end?
I would say tight end, yeah.
And it's like, I like Dallas Goedert, but Travis Kelce's top 3 all time, right?
Travis Kelce's a Hall of Famer.
Like it's not close. But then every other position, it's not like compare the offensive line.
It's also interesting. You said like Jalen Hurts has been surrounded by talent. We're knocking him for that. Why? Every good team has good players. Like why? Why do we? You know what? I want to be honest. When has there ever been a quarterback that we've had this much conversation about knocking him for having good players around him? Have we ever discussed this as much as we have with this quarterback?
Let me say,
when did this just
start? The quarterback that came to mind was Peyton Manning. Remember the Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne days? They always had that good slot guy.
That was his thing. He couldn't win the big one.
What's our Clark? What was that tight end's name? Dallas Clark. There was another Dallas tight end. That's right. I was afraid to say Dallas Goedert. Yeah, Dallas Clark. Think about all the running backs, Edgerrin James. Even early on, you had Marshall Faulk for a little bit. Those offenses were loaded. But Peyton was throwing for 50 touchdowns a year, 40, 50 touchdowns. Like, it still felt like, oh yeah, he was worthy of all that, and he knew how to make the engine go. From like a public perspective, I just don't think everyone's quite there to say, oh yeah, look at all the touchdown passes that Hurts is throwing to like AJ Brown. Like,
no,
I don't think we're doing
wrong. No,
I'm just saying that's how it is. I'm saying that's how. Do you disagree with that? Like, that's the perception?
No, it is a perception, but that's so wrong. AJ Brown has the top 2 receiving seasons in Eagles history. I think he has like a top 2 touchdown receiving seasons in Eagles history. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown both had 1,300 yards one year with Jalen Hurts. Everyone keeps saying Jalen Hurts can't do this, Jalen Hurts can't do it. Well, you know who got those great players the ball? And you know why they're great players? Because Jalen Hurts is throwing them the ball. Like, why are we like saying, oh, you're great players? You know why they're great? Because they're getting the ball from Jalen. So I don't understand why it's like, oh, well, the offense isn't running through Jalen. Well, obviously it has to. Like they're getting them the ball. Like, you can't say they're great players, but at the same time, Jalen's not doing a good job, because obviously they're great because they're getting the ball from someone. It's Jalen. So yes, I do take issue when people say, he plays with good players, but he can't get them the ball as much as they need. Yet they have all the franchise records. They both had great 1,000-yard seasons. AJ had like 1,600 yards one year. What? Like, what are we talking about? AJ Brown set an NFL record for consecutive games of 150 yards in 2023. That takes a quarterback throwing him the ball.
Okay, but notice the stats. You're bringing up other guys' stats. You're bringing up the receiver stats. But when I talk about Peyton, I'm not talking about Marvin Harris and Reggie Wayne stats and Edgerrin James stats.
So are you saying
no? I'm saying no. Look at Peyton. Peyton threw for 50 touchdowns. Because what you're making it almost seem like, see, he can spam this guy, but that's not gonna. Yeah, 150 yards, X amount of games in a row is impressive for AJ Brown. Like 1,600 yards is impressive for AJ Brown.
You're telling me 2 receivers over 1,300 yards isn't an implication that the quarterback is doing something well?
That's 2,600 yards. No one's gonna like.
I mean, yeah,
I know what you're saying, but like, go ahead. Like, you're not going to convince anyone that 2,600 yards passing is going to qualify you as like this aerial surgeon.
I get that, but I also know that the Eagles offense is like very top heavy in terms of target distribution. Like, I don't think it's a Hurts thing. I really think it's just that like Sirianni wants to hone in on 3 guys thing. Because there's been a lot, like we just simply do not use the slot receiver. Like, we just don't do it. Like, we use them as like decoys. Like, they just don't, Now there is a position that I think Hurts could do better at. I think he could do better at throwing to the running backs. I do think that his inability to throw to the running backs is a problem. I've seen him try to run screen passes and screen plays to running backs. It's like the weirdest thing. The dude cannot hit them for some reason at all. In like the little short area, like to the flat. It's really weird. Like, and not in like swing passes. He can obviously do swing passes, but like the timing is just really bad on your prototypical halfback screen. Really weird stuff. I would like to know if it's like an issue of like just target distribution, or Hurts just doesn't want to throw to anyone else. But I mean, I see your argument. It's just 2,600 yards, but he still had like, and I know 3,000 is like nothing now, but it's. I do think that the offense that the Eagles ran, even in 2022, was still a run-based offense. I mean, we still ran the ball a lot. So I mean, there's gonna be situations where we just don't put up prolific passing numbers because we're trying to milk the clock. We're trying to keep the turnovers down. We're trying to run the ball as much as we can to stay on the field and then hit our deep shots when we can. I mean, the Eagles have been a really good running team for as long as basically I can. Well, honestly, since like the Reed era, Reed kind of didn't do it much. But like, yeah, we've kind of been a running team for almost 2 decades at this point. So yeah, that is going to limit Hurts's passing numbers. But I don't know. I think it's just really weird how.
So you don't have to convince me. I'm clearly playing like a devil's advocate position. But Hurts had a career high 25 touchdown passes.
Yeah, I know. I said that.
A career high.
I know. It's not a lot.
He's only gotten 20 3 times.
Well, you know what we do at the 2-yard line.
Right, but what I'm saying is this is what leads to public perception.
Yeah, I know the public perception is skewed because of I think the tush pushes are a big issue with this. I think if you were to throw more short touchdown passes or
next year, if the Eagles go 11-6, Hurts throws for at least 4,800 yards, at least 35 touchdown passes, right, and still keeps the interceptions relatively low. I think the conversation's a lot different. He's got the winning in his back pocket. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. I don't think like that's appreciated enough. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. How many did Dan Marino go to? Didn't he just go to the 1?
I think so. And
so
on top of that, not many quarterbacks ever lose the first one and ever get back, let alone win. Like there's like
I remember I saw that, yeah. So he's got the winning in his back pocket. You know, like Patrick Mahomes has the statistical output in his back pocket after his first year. There's really not much he can do to take that credit away from people, that confidence that he can do that. He just needs to, like, if he really wants, and again, from a fan perspective, probably don't necessarily want this, but like if we're really trying to overcome this like public perception that he's a trailer and not a tractor, he's gonna just have to have like this explosive statistical output of like monster numbers. Look at Dak. What was he in the beginning of his career? He was he was the trailer, and the offensive line and Zeke were the tractor. Right? He was a game manager. He threw 18 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, but it was efficient, it was clean, and he got him to win. He's like a huge stats number guy now. Like he's throwing for 45, 5,000 yard, seasons. He's throwing for 30. Like he's one of the most productive quarterbacks in the league.
And they never thought he had the strongest arm either. It's not
he doesn't have a strong arm. Honestly, is it like below average? Honestly, like it's not up there. So, but like no one's questioning when we talk about the Cowboys offense. Yes, we see CD, we see George Pickens. They've had their fair share of running backs and some productive tight ends, and the offensive line, has at least kept like a base average amongst the league. But no one's really questioning like Dak is he's the tractor. At least I could be wrong. You tell me if I'm wrong on this. He feels like he's the tractor of that team. Are you getting my tractor trailer?
No, I get it.
Here? Okay. It's just how many years has Jalen truly been like the undisputed tractor of the team? I understand in 22 they didn't have Saquon, but like the defense was elite, right? Weren't they only second? Hold on. Didn't they have the second most sacks in a season, only behind the Chicago Bears, 85 season?
Yeah, that's like, one stat, yes.
That was, and they did have Devontae and A.J. Brown and Dallas Scott. They added Saquon 2 years later, but you don't just have a good offensive line. You have Hall of Famers across the offensive line. Like Jason Kelce, Hall of Famer. Lane Johnson, Hall of Famer. Jordan Mailata, he's a very good player. Is he worthy? Maybe, but you know how it is. You know how it is with offensive linemen. Like, you got to have a podcast with Taylor Swift to really get your name built up, right? So, but again, the point is Jordan Mailata, top 5 left tackle. You have an superb offensive line the whole time. So I don't know.
We're gonna So Hurts sucks then. That's right.
No, he doesn't suck, and he's going to be a really good Arizona Cardinal next year when you guys, when he's done with his guaranteed money. But I understand where the thought that's my point. I understand where the thought comes from, whether I agree with it or not.
All right,
I'm with you with the Justin Herbert type. So, like,
all right, how about this?
I'm skeptical.
I'm scared. Gut opinion. Let's see where you rank them. Okay, I'm just gonna say a name, and you're gonna say, "Would you rather have Hurts?" Ready?
Okay.
Go.
Oh, I love this game.
All right.
And am I a generic team? I'm not the Eagles. I'm not the Cardinals. I'm just a generic team.
Which quarterback would you rather have? All right, ready? Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Mahomes. Stafford.
We're just trying to win in 1 year?
This year, yep.
I'll take Stafford.
Burrow.
This is interesting because I really like Joe Burrow.
He hasn't been in the playoffs.
You know he's missed the playoffs more than he's made it.
Yeah. ESPN's been talking about that. In fact, that's why
I really like Joe Burrow. I really do. He is riding that one Super Bowl appearance pretty hard. Like,
and if you're gonna say
the fact I'm hesitating this much, like I think it's revealing. I am on the high. Like, everything's a spectrum, right? I think I'm on the higher end of Jalen Hurts than most people are.
Because this is the executive list, and I'm going to tell you the next guy, Hurts placed higher than in the player poll.
Is it Lamar? All right, well, let me answer the Joe Burrow one. For 1 year, I'm leaning Joe Burrow, but like, man, I don't think most people have to struggle that hard to say that. Like, I'm struggling harder than most people are.
Well, Lamar is 5, and Hurts placed like 10 or 12 spots higher than Lamar did.
Jalen was in the 50s. Lamar was 62. Lamar fell so much, which that's a whole nother thing to talk about. Maybe there's a flaw in like the grading system. Like, Trevor Lawrence came out.
Okay, no, keep going. You said Lamar?
Between Lamar and Jalen?
Yeah.
You gotta go with Lamar, right?
Man, no one gives a crap about wins. All right, Dak. Oh God.
Give me Jalen.
All right, Herbert.
Jalen. I think we found our spot. No, see, I'm again, everything's a spectrum. You know,
wow,
like I'm on the lower end of Herbert.
But I do think there's some guys that, even further down this list you might choose over Jalen. All right, so you got Justin Herbert. Drake
I feel like I don't know. I feel like we might have found our spot.
Drake May, Jared Goff, Caleb Williams.
Well, hold on a second. So the 24 class?
What? No, I'm just listening.
Yeah, you said Drake May, Drake May, Caleb Williams.
No, I'm looking at the top executive list for the executive top 10 quarterback list. I'm just going down the list. Number 7 was Herbert. They said 8 was Drake May.
Then let me give me a chance to answer then.
Okay. Drake May.
Give me Jalen. I think I'm the minority of that one. I think everyone's ready to crown him. Give me Jalen. I do like Jared Goff though, even though he's kind of a dummy. Caleb Williams? Was that who you said?
Was 10th. He was 10th on the list. Good for him.
There's a high upside with Caleb. I might have to go with Caleb.
Sam Darnold.
Do I get Ben Johnson? Sam Darnold?
He was 11th.
This is so disrespectful, but it's disrespectful to Jalen. Okay, let's go with Jalen. Sorry, Sam.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels.
Give me Jalen.
Jordan Love.
Jalen.
Purdy.
Jalen.
Mayfield.
I do like Baker. I think this is more reflective of how high I am on Baker. The hesitation.
You can say Baker. Yeah. That's fine.
I'm high on Baker. Can it just be a push?
Can
I just be okay with either?
Baker's a little further down than I would have thought. Trevor Lawrence, 16, also a little lower down than I thought, considering he had his career year last year. I don't like Trevor, but But here's the thing. That's the anti-argument of like,
I said if Jalen has a crazy statistical year, he'll boost up. Shouldn't Trevor Lawrence, based off draft pedigree and
that's
huge statistical output,
that he's 16th? Like, what does that say about Trevor Lawrence?
Does that say he just did not have enough going into last year to overcome that?
I don't know. Well, then why is?
But what has he done? What has he done his first part of his career? Like nowhere close to that, right?
Yeah.
It was such an outlier based off the rest of his career. I think that just means he hasn't quite done enough to fully trust the 1 year.
Yeah, that is weird.
So where are we?
And then that's 16, and then Jalen 17, and then the 3 below.
Yeah, but how many guys did I take? Are we in like 7th? Is that where we put him?
Probably said 7th or 8th.
Well, then I'm much higher than the players and the execs on him then.
Yeah, and then after that's Bo Nix, Daniel Jones, and C.J. Stroud.
Bo Nix, Daniel Jones. Yeah, I'm taking Jalen.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, we talked a lot about Jalen. Let's switch gears. I derailed.
No, I love Jalen talk.
Best talk there is. I don't know. I mean, I was gonna go corner talk, but I feel pretty good about it. I mean, the top 5 corners that they listed were Surtain, Derek Stingley, Christian Gonzalez, Devin Witherspoon, Trent McDuffie, and then Quinyon Mitchell. I'm under the belief that Quinyon should be top 3, but I'm not going to quibble over 3 spots in a top 10 list where all these guys in the top 5 are really, really good. I think you could argue Quinyon's probably deserves it more than Christian Gonzalez. I just feel like the dude's never playing. And I don't know if Devin Witherspoon, that might be like a Super Bowl bump. I don't know. I feel like if Quinyon Mitchell, it's so funny. Like if Jalen Hurts' issue is like he doesn't throw, like he doesn't accumulate the stats, Quinyon Mitchell has a similar issue, whereas like he just doesn't get interceptions. But like his stats of like just shadowing and separation coverage amount and tackling, even like yards after catch, are just literally like top 2, top 3 in the league in every category. It's insane. And Cooper DeJean is 10th. Now, should I be all right? Here's the thing. It's what I'll tell you. Should I be more upset that Quinyon's not higher, or just shut up and be happy that 2 second-year corners are in the top 10 and Quinyon at 6 and Cooper at 10? I feel like I should just shut up and be happy.
Probably. I mean, you probably should just shut up. No one wants to hear you talk. No, I mean, Quinyon came in at 6. It's just like the wide receiver debate. Like, you look at the wide receiver rankings, it's just flavor at that point. I'm gonna have a good offense with any of these guys, so it's all preference. I mean, you look at the 5 guys ahead of them. I think the only Trent McDuffie might be the guy I would probably bump down and move Quinyon up for, but I mean, you got to move someone else down if you want to move them up, and so I don't know who that guy would be. So I know we because this is how the list was presented. We have to talk based off that. If I was making a list, though, maybe it's a cop-out. I don't do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do a tiers list. So I'd probably hit my tier 1, have the top 6 guys, and then just go from there. Because someone's, of the tier 1 list, if you got 6 guys in there, 1 guy's 1 and 1 guy's 6, but they're so close that it really just doesn't matter. You talk about how he's not a high interception guy, right? And that's the easiest thing to look at to judge corners. And it makes sense. It's just the antithesis of a wide receiver. What do we do with wide receivers? Oh, well, we look at the most productive guys, right? Well, you want to throw the ball to the best receiver as much as you can, right? Well, wouldn't the opposite also apply? You want to throw the least amount to the best defender, right? And so in a way, like maybe like targets are like a better stat to use than like interceptions or maybe like passes deflected or something like that, because you look at Revis is one of the best corners of all time. He wasn't a high interception volume guy, was he?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you think about the game of football, if you're throwing at a corner, the implication is that the receiver's open. It means the corner didn't do his job.
Right.
So
what was our guy a couple of years ago? Diggs from the Cowboys. I think he had like 10 interceptions.
But now he's a free agent.
But if you look at everything else, I think he may have like led the league in catches and yards and touchdowns and given like. Sure, you had 10 interceptions. Interceptions are game-changing plays. But you gave up a lot of stuff to get those opportunities.
I feel like
give me Quinyon every day.
It's almost like in baseball how like the stat wins for pitchers have kind of like no one cares about wins for pitchers anymore, because like they just don't really show as much as like they really do. Like ERA is such a more important stat, and WHIP is such a more important stat.
I'm a WHIP guy.
WHIP's great. And
that's dominant.
Yeah, I like fielding independent pitching, the FIP. You know what the FIP is?
I feel like I've heard of it. There's so many different acronyms in baseball. I love it.
It's basically the amount of walks, strikeouts, or home runs. Like the amount that you get. It's like, imagine like the field's gone. It's just like,
right. Those are all things that you don't need.
Homers, how often do you strike out batters? How often do you walk guys? Like if the field's just missing, because that means it's just you. It means, but yeah. So I think in a way corners are kind of seeing that movement too, where interceptions. I mean, it's so funny. Like I remember back in the day, like the interception leaders were like, "Oh, he's the league leader in interceptions." People lead the league in interceptions now. It's like a side note. You don't even really notice. Like, do you know who led the league in interceptions last year? Off the top of your head? No, but you know who led the league in sacks. You know what I mean? So you could tell like I guess the shine on the interception has gone away just because of how random and fluky they can. I mean, they're game-changing plays, but they're almost like forced fumbles. Honestly, I might credit forced fumbles to vendors more than interceptions. Like, I don't think
I'm a strip sack guy, and I think Chandler Jones, while he was always underrated in Arizona, yeah, he led the league. He was up there when it came to sacks, but he was even more up there when it came to strip sacks.
I think that's a big deal.
Like, it was a huge deal, and he had those long, Gumby arms where he didn't just bring you down. Like he would force a turnover, right? And
there's an art to punching out that football. I don't know.
I mean, it is. Like when you're consistently at the top, it's not fluky, right?
Yeah, that's what I think. I think.
And you're not as like, sure, you can game plan. You can get the ball out quick and whatnot, but there is a certain level of you can game plan away from a good corner, but like you can't hide from Myles Garrett. Like there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's no game, like, because eventually you're going to have to throw it faster than within a second and a half, right?
Yeah. It's just crazy. All right. Well, we're gearing up on an hour. Tan, you want to do an extra point?
Why not?
All right, let's do it. Let's do the extra point. Let me do it real quick.
The extra point.
All right, Tan Man, what's your extra point?
So I wanted to bring it up last week, but I was excited to talk about just salary cap stuff last week with baseball and football and all the different leagues. And so I wanted to talk about this last week as well, but I'm actually a little shocked. Not just on the pod, but in real life, we haven't even talked about this. Like, I'm stunned. Have you seen the trailer for that I Play Rocky movie?
Oh, I have.
And you haven't said anything to me?
I sent it to my dad and brother. Oh, it
looks of course you did.
So good. It looks so good.
For those who don't know, the movie's called I Play Rocky. No, it's not Sylvester Stallone. But it's a biopic of the making of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not Rocky. It's Sylvester Stallone making the movie Rocky.
Played by
and
someone
pitching,
else.
Yeah, by someone else, of when he pitched the idea, hey, like, I created a script for this movie. I think it's going to be good. The big execs were like, oh, this is great. And then he's like, but I want to play Rocky. And
I'm playing
obviously,
the main character. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's it. One, I think it's amazing how many movies they've made out of this, whether it's the actual Rocky movies,
And then you got Creed.
whether it's the Creed movies. Now we're making a movie about making the movie. And I am like just as jacked about it, if not even more jacked about this. Like, I think this is going to be so good. So you've seen the trailer, right?
Oh, I've seen the trailer. I'm hyped, dude.
He looks like Sylvester Stallone.
He sounds like
He
him.
sounds like Sylvester Stallone. Like, in an age where it's like, are these things real? He sounds like, I don't know if there's just technology behind it to get his voice like that. If he did that, that is so impressive. Well, like, it's a voice and an accent that it's not like, oh, he's from up north, right?
Yeah,
or,
no,
oh,
that's a very
like, this is
yeah.
just it's a Rocky voice. I don't know what that is.
It's a very distinct voice.
And man, he sounds so good. And sometimes with movies like this, sometimes if you don't pick the right actor, it kind of takes me out of it. And so I can be a little harsh, not because I'm, just trying to be critical, but Sylvester Stallone is wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and yet I'm sold. Like, I'm excited to see this movie. I think it's awesome. There's a couple of things, just because of my interest, I've kind of like looked into a little bit that it sounds like they're actually going to touch on that I didn't know about, like the story, and, there's a thing with his dog, and, like, I want to be honest, I didn't know he like wrote the script.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. And so, I'm sure, is it going to be 100% accurate? I'm sure there's going to be some,
embellishments. I mean, you're going to get that
they
story
take on it, right? It's still Hollywood.
Stallone, yeah.
But, I'm sure they're going to like touch on a lot of like accurate things about, hey, he was stern about he wanted to play Rocky, right? He didn't want to let them outsource it to someone else. And so I didn't know that. I didn't know he actually, wrote the script and everything. So I don't know. I thought it's really cool. Insulted that you've known about it this whole time, and I figured you had. You're just a bad friend, and I just was waiting for this moment. I only didn't mention it because I wanted to bring it up, but like, if we weren't doing this podcast and doing this segment, I'd be insulted that you haven't brought it up to me yet. But you didn't, and so I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it. I'm sure you're excited to see it too.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I was thinking about other movies, like what other movies this would work well with. Like, would they do like the making of like Independence Day?
So it's funny you say that, because you know how they did that Last Dance series with Michael Jordan and the '98 Bulls?
Yeah.
So they made that decision to do this back, 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. They can't be like, hey, like a couple years ago, let's do this and let's see if we can find anything. They made the conscious effort to document that season.
But they didn't do that for the Rocky movies. They have to go back and basically act that.
But you're right, like they didn't. But there's actually a trend where, like, I think LeBron has his own like documentary crew. I think Kevin Durant, has something with his like boardroom something. And so you were about to ask the question, what else could you do this with? I think we're about to, like, whenever it is, maybe 20, 30 years from now when LeBron releases it. I doubt it's going to be that long. I do think there is going to be this period where it's like all these guys are releasing documentaries of their careers. And I think it'll be pretty cool. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I think that's true. I think we will see something like that. Now, can I rank the I Am Rocky movie within the Rocky trilogy? Does that count, or is that like a separate thing? Like, can I say like it's the third best Rocky movie? Does that count? I don't think I can do that.
I say it's fair game.
Oh, okay.
Because I do that with Star Wars. Like, not everything's within like the Skywalker saga, right? A lot of it is, but I throw in non-Skywalker stuff in there. So I would do it.
All right, so I'm glad you brought that up because mine is also a movie one. I've been waiting about like 3 months, maybe even longer, for the movie Obsession to hit streaming. I don't know if you've heard of this one, Obsession. Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah. Long story short, it's about a guy who really likes his girl, isn't really sure if she likes her, she likes him back, kind of like a friend zone type situation. And like he makes a wish on this like weird like it's called like a one wish willow. It's like a little like weird like stick, and he breaks it, and he basically wishes for that girl to love him more than anyone else in the world. And if you've ever seen Fairly Odd Parents, it's basically the episode where Timmy wishes that exact same wish for Trixie, and it backfires like crazily bad. So it's, I don't know if you saw that episode of Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
but it's that one. Okay,
she's
like,
obsessive.
Yeah, it's like very obsessive. It becomes like leave me alone. Oh my god, you're going crazy. It's that movie put into a movie form, and I have been inundated with so many bad experiences with specifically horror films these past.
I thought you were going to say women.
No. no, not at all. But we're like, they'll say on the trailer, it's the scariest thing. You're gonna poop and pee out your butt, and it's gonna, you're gonna be sitting in a pile of your own vomit and piss. Like scariest movie ever, 5 out of 5. And you go to the movies, and it's like, mildly scary. And listen, I'm not like some like, nothing scares me. I'm not. I can. I'll admit if something was a little weird or eerie. But like you go to these movies and they just don't hit, and the marketing makes it seem to be like extremely like breathtaking. Like movies, I don't know if you've seen like Long Legs was like that. That movie Weapons was like that. These high marketing campaigns just trying to get you to go. And Obsession had that same like, like this is a big deal. You're gonna love this movie. It's the best movie. You're gonna live forever. What's that SpongeBob episode where he's like, he's talking about the chocolate, and he's like, if you rub it on your skin, you'll live forever. It's like, that's what it feels like with the marketing, And this movie lived up to it. Like it was very good. And it was a very low budget film. It was a small production team made by a YouTuber who was directing, which apparently has kind of seen like a push from different horror movies. Apparently YouTubers have kind of been like a niche market of directors these past few years, and it's worked out to big success. And this guy's done a great job, and you could just tell that they were trying to be creative with the budget that they had. The shots that they made were creepy because of how like sometimes less is more in filmmaking. Sometimes like you don't need the CGI jump scare, you don't need the green screen in the background, you just need like good shot composition, good acting, and eerie music, and you got a good film and a good scene. And it just felt refreshing to almost go back in time with this low budget to a time where like it was actually a movie and not like a spectacle. Sometimes movies don't need to be spectacles, and I feel like nowadays a lot of movies are. And this one was so low budget that it couldn't be. And it was just a great film. Highly recommend it. And I guess my point is I really enjoy when things that are like highlighted as great actually end up being great. Like that. I feel like that's very rare.
It's so easy to like overhype something, overpromise, underdeliver. It's so easy to do that today. I got a couple comments. One, I'm not the biggest like horror movie fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really see like it's not impressive to me if you do like a jump scare. I guess like anyone could do that.
It's cheap. It's cheap.
Yeah. The one horror movie where it's supposed to really just scare you, right? You ever hear When a Stranger Calls?
Yeah.
It's the one where they're like, the call is coming from inside the house, like that.
Oh, that's an old one. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But to me, that one's legit scary because it could actually happen.
No, yeah, I actually agree with you on that. That's a take that I share with you. Go ahead, I'll hop in when you.
I'm not entertained by like. I was gonna say like I'm not entertained by like extreme zombie stuff. Now, maybe I'm inconsistent here. If I were to ask you, The Last of Us, is that a horror TV show? Or video game? or is that an adventure?
I mean, I think you could probably mix the two. Maybe throw a thriller in there.
Because when I'm watching it, whether I'm playing the game or watching the show, some of them they get some tense scenes, right? It's quiet, you hear those clickers in the back, and you put yourself in that moment. That feels different. Like that's legit. Like getting my heart pumping, and like I'm real nervous about, are they gonna make a sound or something gonna pop out?
Someone's gonna jump up and
And so,
grab
am
you.
I being like, but like, and yeah, is that a jump scare? I guess, yeah, but there are some just like it's just like excessively like gory, and that's not like entertaining to me.
See,
Um,
no, I see what you're saying, and I think the thing that really gets me is a lot of the horror movies nowadays really rely on like, ooh, possession, spooky,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
the demons taking over their soul.
That doesn't do anything
It
for me.
doesn't
I
do
don't
anything
know.
for me. I don't know if it's like hoping that like the faith type people who really believe hard in those types of things, like that like rocks them to their soul, like Satan's taking over their body or something. Like, I don't really care. So like it's
Yeah,
not.
it doesn't work on me. But
Yeah, yeah.
when I'm watching like The Last of Us, I feel like they got really good characters. They're telling a good story. Sure, they're trying to like survive and like not get bitten by the zombie, but there's a greater story within it with like great character development, and we're talking about like figuring out what the anecdote is. And I just feel like there's a lot of like horror movies that are just kind of lazy. They're for teenagers to go to the
Shock
movies on a
value.
Friday
Yeah,
night.
no,
And
yeah.
they're just the girl runs to the shed with all of the like
Yeah.
running chainsaws, and it's like, I don't know. You think about Joel and Ellie in The Last of Us, they would never run to the chainsaws. Like it's just they're just dumb, and they're just trying to get you to like feel a certain way, and yeah, it just feels cheap.
Yeah, I do think that horror is a genre that I've really explored since meeting my wife. She's really kind of showed me a bunch of the movies. And we watch them. It's kind of like something that we just happen to like watch if we see good ones. Um, I do say that yes, those types of movies do exist. Those are like kind of like the old style horror movies, like think like Chainsaw Massacre, Jason, Freddy, those types of movies where like there's a guy walking around killing people. You know what I
It just
mean?
doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, but like nowadays it is more of those like possession type movies. But I do think there are some creative liberties that are being taken in a lot of the horror movies nowadays that are pretty unique and are explored in ways that other movies genres aren't right now. I'm not the biggest fan of Jordan Peele movies, but I will say his movies are pretty creative in terms of where he explores the horror aspect. Like I just saw Get Out the other month. I don't know if you saw Get Out, but that was a really good horror movie.
He's got a lot of credit for being a director, right?
Yeah. Nope. I didn't necessarily love it, but I will say
That was a popular one
it was
too,
a
wasn't
very
it?
creative movie.
Yeah.
This Is Us or Us. I think it was just called Us. Was another good horror movie that was very had a huge twist at the end. So I do think there is a place for horror movies in this current scheme of society, and I do think they are becoming a little more creative and moving away from the generic like, oh, blood and guts, ooh, possession. I think there are some creative minds out there gravitating that genre, and I think naturally the low budget stuff is the stuff that's winning because like you actually have to use things like practical effects, good shot composition, good lighting. Dude, the lighting in Obsession, just the way they lit the characters it made it creepy. The way you couldn't see their faces, the way you couldn't see how they were what they were emoting and how they were kind of like thinking, what they were feeling in the moment because the lighting was really weird. Like that stuff, the unsettling, that's good horror. And that's what I think is really necessary. Now I do find myself catching a movie. There's this movie franchise called The Terrifier, and that, let me tell you, I remember when you said like you didn't like Attack on Titan because like the first episode was like gory. If you ever
I was in a bad mood that
if
day.
you ever sat down and watched the movie The Terrifier, you would say it's probably the worst movie you've ever seen. But like something about the main character's charisma as he like attacks his victims is just kind of funny to me. So I almost see it as almost like a comedy, which is weird because he just doesn't. He's a clown and he's really weird and antic and very flamboyantly like theatrical when he does his attacks. So it's just kind of funny watching him attack people like smugly. But I don't know. It's funny. It's funny show, but it's also very gory and very inappropriate. but it was also low budget, so they had to make sure it was like really cleverly shot, and the things weren't just fake, or obviously it was fake. He's not like hacking people's arms off, but it doesn't look like CGI basically. But and of course we're saying all this anti CGI stuff, of course, in the glow and basking glow of the Doctor Doom trailer that just got released for the Avengers, and that was like 98% CGI. You excited for Doom?
I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I have my hesitations. I love RDJ, but I don't know, just the decision to like bring him back. You just hope it doesn't dampen how Endgame ended.
It's so funny when Thor said, "Oh my God, is that you?" I thought it was going to be like Robert Downey Jr. like with Doom's mask off, and I thought it was going to be that, like, "Oh, why do you look like Iron Man?" Basically. But then it was just Captain America, and I was like, okay. Which, by the way, he also does not look the same as he did he aged or
he grew out his hair.
Okay, well, I think there's a little bit more than that. His facial features look a little different.
Well, Endgame was in 2019. So, I mean, he is 7 years older. 7 years old.
That's true.
I mean, Chris Evans still looks good. I'm just like, he brought the beard back, but like, we've seen the beard. Yeah. I don't think he's ever had the long hair though.
Yeah. All right. Well, we had a good episode. We're going to wrap up a little early today, folks. Maybe you know what? As a good Microsoft Teams member would say, well, we'll let you have these. We'll give you back these last 10 minutes. We'll let you enjoy.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. But because our hour and 30-minute meeting, we're gonna give you back these 10 minutes. Enjoy them. I don't know what that's like because I'm with kids all day long. So
no, I work in the corporate world. That is 100%
corporate world is, but I see the memes, so
yes,
I'll play along.
It's real.
Yeah, I'm sure. So next week, we're going to continue with Training Camp Watch. We're going to do some more around the divisions, do some more like over under win totals, figure out exactly where we're at. Maybe even cook up our first parlay. Who knows? Maybe we'll throw together 4 or 5 teams and watch them. That'd be fun to watch them.
Well, you know who the Hall of Fame game is this year?
Oh, it's the Cardinals and Panthers. It's the Kuechly Fitz Bowl. That's coming up. And of course, we'll be reacting to that in 2 podcasts from now, right? Because it won't be next week, will it?
It's on August 6th.
It'll be 2 pods.
2 weeks.
So next week we'll do some over/under wins. The next week we'll be reacting to a Hall of Fame victory for the Cardinals.
Exactly.
That's right. String backups. All right, Tanner. Got anything else to say before we log off for the night?
That's all I got.
All right. As always, I'm Tanner. That's John, and this has been Birds Coast to Coast.